up to speed. Yesterday, I laid in bed, sick as shit, rolled over, and I'm like, hello, what's going on with the audits, with the writ? The writ, instead of being posted, was, I'm entering in a territory that's very strange. Went into the black government hole and popped out with a response, unknown who the author was, or if it was a collection of authors. I'm like, what the fuck do I do with this? Like, and they're pretty much all collectively backing this decision, which fundamentally is retarded.
Sure.
And I am starting to realize that maybe this is why the DOJ has been fucked from the start. And I think this is important to highlight, because this may have been something that's been the case for a long time, but it's only recent that there's now competing entities that act as check and balance, right?
Sure.
Is that these matters, whether it be Pred getting removed or, like in this case, reviewing a writ, is that I think all the justices look at it, right? And so there is no receipt as to who's in the meeting, who and how and to what level of in the cityness they're responding. And in doing so, the outcome that comes out is not necessarily stamped by any one person.
Right.
So now a couple things pop up. One is, doesn't that mean they're naturally all conflicted?
It would.
In any decision that's made?
If they all see it, yeah.
And it also poses a lot of other just oddities, like, you know, that I hate pointing out, because it's kind of like, I don't know, I just don't like it, and I'm not going to say the rest of it, but I was going to make some examples, but so anyways, I kicked it up to the governor and I broke it down. I said it was recommended that I push it up to you, which I have. Secondly, the audit should have been landing on your desk about 2 weeks ago, because that's how it should have been. I don't know. I'm being told to put it on the city hall. Blah 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 blah. And honestly, there seemed a little bit of confusion on the end of Hollow, understandably, because in my opinion, Hollow's trying to do right by a lot of this, and I think he's kind of also a little bit like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But
Medi last.
I want to once again point at, if they're all backing this, it's already cooked, right? Because these dumb fucks have forgotten that they're pretty much saying, yes, we're conflicted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I agree.
So, you know, I set up the meeting for 7 p.m. And it's about this writ. He's got a copy of it. I wanted to expand on it a little bit, so let's pull that up first, because I think that's the most important.
Which writ?
The writ for Pred coming back.
Oh, reinstate. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let me get that.
So, so I'm gonna ask a favor of you. Is that after this, maybe if you could clean up some of what I put in and move the stuff around.
Yeah. You got it.
But I'm gonna go over some of the things that I was able to pull out. The first is, and by the way, fucking Maeve is cooking right now on the impeachment of the justices.
Hell yeah.
Like, I looked at it, I'm like, well, who the fuck is writing all this? And I'm like, wait, this is Maeve.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's impressive who we brought into this cabinet.
Absolutely.
The art guy become legislator. The the psychiatrist who's now also cooking away.
Yeah, you found people who give a shit. Only the DOJ could do the same.
Yeah. So the first big one here is the Blaine County Mayor's Office Roles and Responsibilities was submitted to repeal by Pred on the 6th.
November 6th. Yeah, I saw that.
And then I broke down that the legislation approval process notes that there is no precondition of the DOJ itself moving the repeal into contest, nor that the past legislation needs to be entered into the MDT. Because inherently, the DOJ is not checking on whether or not there's any constitutional breakage, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, this is already enacted. And therefore, the entire backing of why they got rid of Pred is moot.
Yep.
Now, if we are to say that we're gonna reject this premise, right, and say that the legislation, or sorry, the Blaine County Mayor's Office Roles and Responsibilities, that we have no argument here about it getting repealed, well, then you're then self-acknowledging that the DOJ was negligent and derelict. And they were so as I wrote, rejecting the premise of A necessitates acknowledging the DOJ's negligence and dereliction was the primary obstacle to the repeal. Maybe extend that to by not putting it into the next step. Right? This, because they've been lazy and not doing shit, then the thing didn't get repealed because of them. And if it wasn't repealed because of them, by going into the contest stage, which in theory it already did, right? As I write, consequently, employing this circumstance as grounds for Pred's removal is inherently unjust and demonstrates malicious intent. So they created the problem, and then they're using that problem to their advantage to get them out. Right? So, so I think expanding or rewording or even moving some of that logic into the bullet points below might be a move. I leave that to you.
Yeah.
So then we get into the next bit, which is the removal of, and you've seen the response, right? The DOJ response I sent you?
Yes. Yeah.
It's so, like, these guys, I don't, and we're going to get to that. It was so, like, I don't think they're referencing anything when they're making their statements. I genuinely believe they already, in their brain, like, in their mind, have come to a conclusion what these documents mean, and they're not revisiting them. And so, fuck it. We're going to write it out. The Constitution of San Andreas states the elected positions of Blaine County, etc., shall have a 3-month period to hold office before elections shall be held again.
Yep.
The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. All citizens must obey it. And then the only piece of legislation that outlines the removal of anyone that's baked in legislation is the impeachments and authority conduct review.
Yep.
Therefore, making it a mandatory legislative vehicle to remove a man. So the whole notion that it's optional is retarded.
Yeah.
Because what's in the Constitution is a mayor has 3 months. The only vehicle to remove it is via the impeachment and authority review, which has constitutional backing behind it. So, and then and then further down, I created Appendix A, and I broke down like the English syntax. And I don't know if there's a better way to format it, but I feel like this is necessary in some way. And maybe instead of the comments, that maybe there's like a different color. There may be a way to take the comments and somehow line it up with all this.
This is the syntax of the Blaine County legislation.
Correct. Like I'm pointing out, like, I mean, there's so many problems with it. right?
You want me to do like a fucking hooked on phonics learning module using this piece
Correct.
of legislation?
Yes.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Yeah. Because genuinely walking to that meeting is going to be saying, hey, are you sure you graduated high school?
Yeah.
And
Effectively. Yeah.
as unfortunate as it is, that's what it's come down to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because AI, I like literally I pushed this whole thing in AI because I was like, just in case we're in a, you know, an echo chamber, let me double check.
yeah.
And AI agreed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it's yeah, it's
All right. So is this the only piece of paper we're expecting to put in front of the governor?
that's the main one. So now let me ask you, because we need to do the strategic, right? Because it's going to be happening serially.
Yeah.
What is the next one? I think the Reddit one is an interesting one.
Yeah. Well, doing the Radish one with this one, like they're not correlated, but they can go together. And if they refuse to do that one, you have another example of dereliction of duty.
Yeah,
Or corruption.
Well, so here's the crazy thing, and maybe this is something we're adding on the writ. I spoke with when I spoke to Hart, she hey Maeve, we're over at the racetrack.
Okay, I can meet you there. I have a very quick question for you.
Yep.
Do you know Senior Buns and like that whole building, is that state property?
No.
No. Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you.
All right, easy. Thank you. So when I was like, well, you need to make Reddit the sheriff, then she said he's the sheriff, he has the tags. Pred still has Maya tags.
What?
Yeah. So, and it was brought up before, like, what means he's not the mayor? They literally go, he doesn't have the tags anymore. He doesn't have the keys. So, like, what's up and what's down?
So he's not the mayor, but he has the tags, right?
Yep.
But Leah Strong is the treasurer, but she doesn't have the tags, so she's not the treasurer. Is that how?
They are literally not being consistent with their logic.
Yeah, no kidding.
Bones is the sheriff, therefore he is the sheriff.
No.
Reddick does not have the tags, but the announcement was made beforehand. But so why are they not re-adding it? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Jesus Christ. When's the governor coming in? Is it 25 minutes?
Yeah, 25 minutes.
All right. If Maeve's on her way, I'm gonna go clean this shit up, and then are we meeting at City Hall?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go get this cleaned up. It's not something that I can really multitask to do. No offense.
Yeah. No, 100%. And then as for the impeachments,
yeah,
I think we start firing them. I want you to fire them on my behalf. But look over the one that Maeve looked at, and maybe we start with that one and we start dumping them. I'll give the green. I'll text you the green light.
Yeah. Did she do the Grayson one first? I think that's the one that makes sense, probably.
No, she's cooking on the Justices one. In fact, I feel like the Justices one screams louder because a judge did it. They did it under their home. I want to give you another thing to chew on.
Sure.
In 2 hours, he lost mayorship from the point he appointed Radish. That means, like, what would you say, 30 minutes, 40 minutes? They have a talk with a judge, an hour, whatever, then they leave?
Thereabouts.
That means, effectively, I don't think that I don't actually know how they came to who the fuck actually made the call.
Yeah. Do we not know that yet? Because last I heard, Hart was sleeping, Hallow abstained, and Angel recommended impeachment.
Yeah, so how did that happen?
But Grayson said the justices were unanimously on board, I believe she said.
Well,
So
it goes back to this is happening in fucking
yeah.
you know, Schrodinger's like
Schrodinger's
meeting
emails,
room.
yeah.
Oh,
You know,
I wonder if maybe it's miscommunication. If maybe Arcadia heard Angel recommend impeachment and assumed that it was a unanimous justice decision, and then like
yeah, but
took
recommending
impeachment as like
impeachment.
removal from
Oh,
office rather than
no.
following. Do you think that's what happened?
there's no way to know, and there's no way to know if they lie about it because it's in Schrodinger's email chain
Yeah.
instead of
Like it
you know.
could very well all be lies and people covering for their own asses and whatever, but like I do wonder like if that's the case, if like Arcadia assumed that because Angel said it, it was, you know, universal and just took impeachment as remove him from office and not impeachment as guidelines.
But it says in the legislation that it does not necessarily mean removal. Well, never mind. I don't know why I assume the justices understand their own legislation.
So that's actually one thing I think we forgot to reference in here is the judicial powers document.
Oh, the one Grayson wrote.
Yeah, that judicial. Wait, Grayson wrote that? I don't think he did. She
Yeah,
did.
he did. No, male Grayson.
Wait, codified?
Yeah.
No, he didn't. Angel
yes, he
Hollow
did.
Heart.
And I asked him why his signature isn't on it, and he said because the justices took credit for it. You were there for this. We were at the monument. Me, you, Pred, Tony, Grace.
I
This was before Hallow showed
I probably
up.
forgot. Bro,
Yeah.
I hate that so much.
Yeah.
Well, how are you
said-
just signing shit? Like everything I sign, I have to back it.
Like at minimum, he should be listed as an underwriter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That should be referenced, I think, in the writ too. They do not have the power to do this.
Well, except for that last line that we talked about, and unless it's given
Which
in
last
some
line?
other piece of, it's under appointed and elected judges, where it says unless.
Yeah, well,
it's
that's
given
what
in
I
other
mean.
legislation.
Which it
and
is.
the only other place, the only other place it is in the potentially optional impeachment legislation per Falconer. Fucking guy.
I would throw that in there.
Yeah, you got it.
So after that, go with the justice one, expand
Yep.
on it. The angel one, we're still firing off separately, right? That's got a bigger series of things, right?
We can, but it kind of it covers a lot of the same shit as the other justices one. So it's going to be a lot of duplicated languages if we separate them out, but I don't think that really fucking matters, to be honest
I don't
with
think
you.
it does because Angel's got the slider gate, has the all that other bullshit in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say let's get the justices one in a good spot and the one with the judges, and we fire both of those. I'm also
right.
going to bring
Working on
up
the
that,
justice one
hey,
right
we
now.
have these impeachment papers, but the problem is part of the impeachment depends on the discoverability of, government emails.
Yeah.
And
One
because the
more question.
veracity of who of facts are currently unknown because we don't know who said what and under what context.
Yeah. I saw Serenade posted some notes about a referendum. Any context on that?
Correct. So we're contemplating fixing state legislation and pushing referendums out. For example, a referendum for how a justice is formed.
Shit.
Specifically, that elected judges are the only vehicle by which new judges come to be. And number two, that an elected judge, after performing X amount of duty, time and whatever, right, can then become judges. That if that the legislative bodies outside of the DOJ can vote in a new justice, something along those lines. There's other things about referendums that I think we need to start pushing forward with, because the problem right now is the DOJ is a nepotistic fucking like orgy pile, quite frankly.
Yeah.
The well-aged and surprisingly.
Okay, I got 20
Like
minutes.
the
I,
police.
Yep. Do your thing. Do your thing.
yeah, I'll meet you.
Maeve, keep cooking on that legislative
Yeah.
bit as well. I'm gonna link up with Serenade and let him know to start
Okay.
putting his notes. Me and Michael talked. He keep putting your notes in, and I'm gonna tell him to start firing things onto the docket.
Yeah, I'm making a lot of suggestions and revisions to the Justice's impeachment document right now. That's the one I'm going through. It's going to be really
Absolutely
thorough, so-
beautiful. You're doing an amazing job with that, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, were you guys looking at it?
Well, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm gonna get Serenade up to speed as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sarah, let me get you up to speed. Michael is off. He's cooking. Maeve is cooking on some of the edits as well. So the TLDR is we're going to be taking the writ, and the writ is currently being updated. I put a bunch of notes in there, things that we uncovered. For example, the legislation that was used to remove Pred was technically repealed 3 weeks ago.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep. He repealed it on the
That's what I
6th,
said.
and the DOJ never did anything with it. It fell in that bucket of like,
Fill up
well,
with
you got to email, like, because Hollow, instead of bringing it to the next stage, was like, oh, I'll talk to, oh, wait, I want to wait to talk to Pred. But the thing is, if you put it under scrutiny, according to the process document that exists, it doesn't need to wait on the DOJ. Because the DOJ would inherently not be checking the constitutionality. Yep. So, and if they did, if this argument is ignored, well, then they were it was dereliction of duty for 4 weeks for not moving the legislation forward. And then they're using the outcome of that dereliction to now maliciously use it against Pred.
Why does the rabbit hole just get fucking worse?
I don't know.
Like it seems like it just doesn't get better.
Also, when I gave the original writ to Hollow to send up, it went into some vacuum and then popped up with the responses with no name on it. And so
Because that's fucking helpful. How are we supposed to legally know that it was any of them?
I don't know. That's the problem. So I think it went into the same government obfuscated email place, right? Which inherently drives a question of like, why do they keep self-conflicting themselves, and how long has they been self-conflicted, right?
Free money.
TK, think of the 9 months.
That's,
So this is what led to me hitting up the governor and being like, bruh, I was recommended to bring this to you because it was recommended to bring it up to the governor, and I did. And so we're going to be meeting him in about 15 minutes. The series of documents that Michael put up, we're kind of targeting the Kyle Pred writ first and foremost, since it sort of highlights a lot of the incompetencies of the DOJ. The second priority we're claiming is going to be the one, the impeachment document for all the justices, followed by the impeachment document for Arcadia and whatnot. But I will also be bringing up, while those go up, that there could be more to this, but the problem is that we can't inherently FOIA the government emails.
I'm well aware.
Yeah, but I'm going to be very blunt about that in the meeting. Y'all are welcome to join in on the meeting. I did ask for that. Obviously, y'all can't speak unless, we allow y'all to. This is for decorum and whatnot. But I will be very pointed with, like, I'm going to be knocking on some walls because I don't know how else to progress the conversation when we don't even know who signed on what. Did they sign it as an observing entity, as a God knows what the fuck it is. So I think this is going to be good. There's more.
Okay.
Take a look at the writ. The updated one. It's
Let me see here. Is it the one from you?
No, it's the writ for writ amandamus for Kyle Pred. You'll notice in it that that constitutionally the impeachment process is the only piece of legislation that grants judges the power to remove someone from office. That the Blaine County, hold on, let me call Michael because I missed this.
Hey, Maeve.
Jesus, this has gone through so much.
This may need to be added to the writ. The
Okay, go.
judicial, the other argument for the impeachment only be okay. The judicial powers is the only document that grants powers, like we just talked about, grants powers to the judges to remove someone in office by referencing other legislation. That only other legislation is the impeachment document.
Yep.
Outside of that, constitutionally, there is no power. They inferred their power on the Blaine County document if you were to claim it has to do with the mayor, even though that document very clearly outlines that that would be handled internally within the county.
Yeah.
And it does not inherently grant the judiciary hiring and firing powers. So,
Yep.
Okay. The next thing, whether or not, I'll leave it to you if you think it's relevant. When Andy stepped down, the DOJ backed Eve Summers taking over mayorship. Ipso facto, Pred being removed, that replacement should be from his office.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. All right. That's all I got.
Okay. Perfect.
All right.
I'll get it touched up.
Easy. Thank you.
Ciao.
All right. How you doing, Corolla?
Hello, Nino. I'm doing good.
Yeah. It's I was gonna be around for a little bit and then it just, shit hit the fan.
Well, that happened. I mean, Pred was also, and I forgot to take screenshots because I was surrounded by members of BCSO at the moment. But there was an all-out twatter war going on before Storm. He does not help himself.
Yeah.
I believe one of the twats he wrote out was, "I can't wait to make 80 people's lives miserable," or something like that. Well, Pred is Pred.
Medibear UH.
Wait, what do you mean? Tony, think of the 41 months.
There was all sorts of twats going around on Twatter about who the sheriff is at the moment. I don't know if they named someone.
Oh.
So something has happened, and it's not the person who who Pred, I used to call him by his first name. Anyway, it's not the person that Pred did the state announcement about. And there was a whole back and forth of BCSO officers saying that ever since he got fired, their numbers have gone up. Other BCSO's officers saying that honestly all he had to do was raise their pay a little bit and they wouldn't have had any problems.
Yo, that's crazy.
But yeah, they're really unhappy with their pay and that sort of thing. I mean, this is just a group of what? 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 BCSO officers.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was kind enough to give me a ride along today, so I was listening in on the stories while this Twitter war was happening.
Oh my! This was today.
Yes, right before storm.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking like 5 minutes before the storm.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's crazy. Little they realize that the reason their pay is so low is because they keep hiring people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's called balancing your budget. You know the worst thing about it